All right.
Hey guys, and welcome to this week's episode of Stream Squad with bonus music. I'm Angela. I'm joined by Nick, and as usual, Dan, fresh off the plane, is behind the camera.
Woohoo. Yeah, I made it back in time.
Hey.
Wasn't the original plan, but I'm here and happy to be here with y'all as usual.
Dan says mute your phones, and then
Yeah. I said I was just
wasn't
like
fast
I heard Nick get a notification like the ding. I'm like, all right, make sure your phone's muted as I'm unmuting the mics here, and then he pulls up the stream.
And then we dance in.
echo
Yeah,
effect.
all a good time. So how's everyone doing?
All
Have a good
right.
weekend.
Good.
I built a fence.
Oh, did you?
That was fun. I spent all day Sunday on the couch, icy hot. So better now.
I had a good friend's birthday party Saturday night, and actually had Cuban food for the first time in my life.
Oh yeah, what'd you have?
I had like a big plate of yuca. It was boiled yuca. With onion, and then I had a salad with calamari in it because I wanted calamari, but I felt like I should eat the salad, so I did both, and I have no regrets. And then Sunday I spent the whole day at Kings Island, which is a theme park in Cincinnati, and I rode roller coasters for 12 hours, and it was amazing.
In case anyone wants to see, there's
some of
Angela
our
right
ride
there
pictures.
from her Facebook.
We like
Rocking
to
out on the
coordinate
roller
our group
coasters.
pictures. It's amazing.
Dan was at a wedding.
I was at a wedding. My sister got married.
Yay.
So, yeah, that was exciting.
Other news this week: Vimeo bought Livestream.
They
So
did.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, let's hop right into that industry news. We got going on.
As I'm sure a lot of the viewers here know, Vimeo has done a great job of positioning itself as a platform for quality video and building tools for creators. They've really built out their video on demand platform to add email capture and pay-per-view options and the ability to download and reskin your video players. Over the past year or so, there's been a lot of conversations internally at Vimeo about bringing a subscription model for certain types of content like you see with Hulu and Netflix. And they actually tabled that whole strategy and just this week announced that they are building a live solution that is already available. They've been working with the team at Livestream and have acquired Livestream, so they'll be getting the benefit of their team and their support and their knowledge in that. And if you're looking for a premium paid solution for live video where you can really control the content, where you can set up passwords, where you can download videos afterwards, there's even an option where you can stream live and replace that video with a 4K recorded version afterwards. So that's one we're really excited about. Works well with Director Mode and Switcher Studio. And send a congratulations over to the team at Livestream, Mark, Max, Sergey, Phil, and their crew. So we're keeping an eye on what's going on there and what options that opens up for everyone here in Switzerland and people that are looking to make premium content. If you're working with a brand or business or something where streaming on Facebook or YouTube might not be the right fit, Vimeo could be a good paid solution where you have a little more control over the content. So is there anything that we needed to add there?
Kind of what you said with looking into it for Switcher Studio. They are planning on having the RTMP integration, so that does open the door to use Switcher. So we're definitely going to be doing some testing with that. And if you've already got a Vimeo account that you're already paying for, I saw where you can do a 30-day trial of the live platform, so that way it's not immediate, add another subscription on. You can test it out. If you don't like it, as long as you cancel within the 30 days, it's going to stay the same. And then after that's when they'll start getting billed for the additional live piece. So
cool.
That's also pretty cool.
It is a big jump going from a free platform like Facebook or YouTube to a paid streaming solution. If you're paying for just a single month, it starts at $150 for the month. Or thereabouts. If you sign up for the annual contract, I think you can get in the starter tier for around $75 a month, and then it goes up from there based on your needs. But I think for businesses, for brands, this is a really good solution. Also, as part of this news, Vimeo is they're building out the platform across the board. Their OTT or over the top solutions, using their video players to build your own customized apps. if you want to control your content, you can stream live, you can upload on Vimeo, and you can even have an app where you can watch those videos on your Roku or Amazon Fire. It's the whole package. So Vimeo is looking really strong, and I think the live stream acquisition was a really smart move, and I think it's going to help live stream grow as well within the Vimeo ecosystem. So be sure to check that out. We'll have more info on how that works with Switcher and what steps you need to take so you can sync the two up.
So something else that's happened, it seems like every week we've got a new Facebook update that's coming through, but Facebook Watch is one that we've covered a couple of times. It just rolled out this summer, and Facebook looked to grab a bunch of different TV shows, reality shows, anything that's kind of family friendly. They don't have any R-rated or mature-rated programming, but they do have stuff for, young children all the way through teens and kind of family shows. But the new thing that they acquired this week is a deal with the NFL where they're going to have highlights and access to all of the normal football games as well as the Super Bowl. So that's a huge thing that they were working on for a while, and that's something they're going to bring directly to Facebook to get those highlights really quickly.
Sounds expensive.
Sounds very expensive, especially the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but Facebook Watch is. It seems like it's a slow roll, that it hasn't happened as quickly as some of us would have thought, but they're being very selective about the content, and I think that's smart to look at quality and to look at some of the things that we're used to seeing on TV and how we can bring that into Facebook Watch and what's happening there. One of the other news pieces on industry was
Need my cheat sheet. Siri has ditched Bing for Google. So this did not roll out with the normal iOS 11 update or the release of the iPhone 8. They actually just brought this out this past Monday with the release of the new Sierra OS system for Macs. And now all Siri devices are going to use Google as a search engine instead of Bing. Apple said they're doing this because they're hoping for stronger and more accurate search results. So they've opened the door for the Google versus Bing debate all over again. I personally am Team Google, so I'm happy with this news, but our comments, I'm sure, will go either way for it.
Separate from this announcement, Bing has been doing some tests internally on showing search results for individuals within your network. And there's a whole other thread on this. We can share it in the group later, but it's something they've used internally within organizations and with enterprise search, and has now been opened up to the public. So Bing as a search engine is still very relevant, and they're doing some really interesting things that have a big value. Going to move over into strategy. One of the topics that we like to hit on every week is looking at examples of how people are using live video or things you can take into consideration when you go to your next broadcast, your next event. One really cool example that actually happened here in our town, the Community Foundation of Louisville did their annual nonprofit fundraising event. And Chris Strub, who was with us at VidCon on the show, does a lot of consulting with nonprofit organizations on how to use live video, how to tell their stories, how to promote people within their community. And Chris Strub and Community Foundation partnered for this event, and they raised $4.6 million. It was a record-setting fundraising event for the Community Foundation of Louisville. And Chris Strub recently wrote a book, and you can check him out on social, on his website, and he is constantly traveling and working with other nonprofits to help them use live video to leverage what they're doing and reach out in their communities, help fundraise, and help tell their stories. So big high five for Chris. We didn't get to meet up this time when he was in town, but we'll be sure to circle back next time he passes through. And really, really excited about the work that he's doing. It's just a big benefit for everyone involved. And if you are a nonprofit, if you are doing fundraising events, if you want to bring attention to the activities that you're doing in your organization, would definitely recommend checking out his book or reaching out to Chris and seeing how you all can work together.
Yeah, from my experience with him, he's very quick to respond on social media, especially Facebook and Twitter. One thing that, kind of my first meeting with him, he mentioned was that he had just gotten off his 50-state tour where he was going state to state and streaming in all states and helping people out with live streaming in all states. So, as Nick mentioned, he definitely gets around. If you have questions, reach out to him, and he's always happy to help. And there's a very good chance that he will probably pop up in your state here and there, and you guys can probably meet up at that time for any help with nonprofits.
I think I saw on Twitter he's on a plane right now heading to a social marketing conference. So speaks at a lot of events as well, and Chris is a good guy, and we like the work that he does. But again, if you're a nonprofit, check out this case study Dan's sharing here on the stream and what they were able to do with the Community Foundation of Louisville. There may be things that you can do on your own just by using Switcher, by using Facebook to broadcast, to interview people that run the organization, people that have been affected by the things that the services that you're providing. And I think that storytelling piece is really important. Also, staying active and giving updates during fundraising campaigns can have a big benefit on getting people to hit the donate button. Facebook even has a donate function built in for approved nonprofits where transactions can happen through the Facebook app. You don't even have to get out your credit card. If you've done it once, it's super easy to give. A few weeks ago, Convoy of Hope had done a broadcast using Switcher Studio and had raised over $250,000 for the hurricane relief efforts. So the power of live video is really cool, especially when it comes to giving and getting people to pay attention to things that are going on.
Yeah. And if it's something you're interested in doing, and you might look at examples like what Chris Strubb is doing or what Convoy of Hope is doing, where it's these really professional teams. They've got a lot of stuff together. There's a lot of prep work. If there's a cause that you're wanting to raise for and you're thinking, I don't have the means to do that, look at what people are doing on YouTube or on Twitch, where even just gamers or fitness gurus are doing streams just in their bedrooms, and they're still raising thousands of dollars just doing the streams. So you don't have to be, a top CEO of a company. Anyone can get together with a live stream and, help to raise money for a cause. And especially with a cause involved, people are more likely to give. So
Absolutely.
Definitely something to look into.
One of the other things we wanted to look at each week, we look within the user group and we look at examples of videos that people are making with Switcher, and we had a really cool one come through this week. Angela, you want to talk a little bit about what Dan's queuing up?
Sure. So this is the Google router, correct?
Well, I may have jumped ahead. This is the Lamborghini video.
Okay, I was like, wait a second. So we're gonna flip our categories really quick. So we.
Oh yeah, let me switch the lower third. Hashtag made with Switcher.
Yeah. Gonna go with our hashtag made with Switcher. But this week we have from the user group. Let me pull up my notes because I was not ready for that one. So it's a review of a Lamborghini Gallardo, I'm going to say it's pronounced.
Someone is shaking their head right
they
now.
are. I'm not a car person whatsoever.
I don't think I would.
It's a really nice car.
It's a very nice car. It's a pretty car.
Does anyone want to see the car? The inside of the car. Well,
so they took it for a test drive, and they used Switcher to set inside of the car. They had some drone footage that they had shot ahead of time. They used the DJI Osmo Mobile to get some smooth, steady handheld shots. It's a really well-produced video. They also used the multi-view effect in a few places.
Yeah, you're seeing that right now.
This was, I think Thailand is where they were shooting this at.
Yeah, and it felt like I was there. And I'm not a car guy. I could never see myself spending that kind of money on a car, but I want to get in one. So maybe next year we go to NAB. We'll see if we can rent a Lamborghini to take down the stretch.
See, I would want to sit in one, but I'd be afraid to drive it. I'd be afraid, I don't know, I'm going to scrape it into something's going to happen, and there goes every paycheck for the rest of my life to repair that.
But it was a really cool example, a really well-produced video, and they were using a lot of different features within Switcher. If you're not already in the user group, that's Switcher Studio Enthusiasts on Facebook. You can log into your Switcher account, and there's a module in the dashboard there that will walk you through that process. You'll answer a few questions and then get put in the queue to join that group. And every week we see people asking questions, helping one another out, sharing videos that they're making. It's a really cool space, and it's a really exciting for us just to see the community come together and people that are making video using Switcher. Today we actually hit 800.
We hit a milestone. I came in last night. I approved a couple of people into the group, and we were at 799. Today around 10 a.m. I got a notification someone had requested to join the group, so we hit our 800th, which since March, that is a huge amount of people joining the group, so we can't thank you guys enough. And even if you guys are just interested in knowing more about Switcher Studio, you don't necessarily have to sign up for a trial or subscription to get into the group. It's a great way to see what can be done with Switcher Studio, and then when you do get started, you kind of have, that push already to get started and know exactly what to expect. So whether you've been with us for years or whether today's the first day hearing about it, definitely join Switcher Studio enthusiasts, and there's a lot of great content that's coming through from that.
We're gonna have to do something special once we hit our 1,000th member. Maybe
we'll get a cowbell.
We'll have to do like a special stream for them. I don't know. We'll think of something.
I feel like we just hit 700 a couple weeks ago. So goal for you guys watching: we need 200 more people. Let's get 1,000 by Halloween, and we'll do like a Halloween themed episode or something.
There you go.
Maybe we can eat some weird like candy or something. It's like a game show.
Oh, like the Bean Boozled
I just
stuff.
opened that up. Comment and leave your comments in the video, and we'll take those into consideration. But that would be great. Tell your friends, and show us what you're doing. #MadeWithSwitcher. Let's go ahead and reel it back. I got a little ahead of ourselves there.
You were just so excited about that.
I mean, it was pretty exciting, yeah.
We also had a post go up on the website this week, switcherstudio.com, that it talks about a budget router that we've tested and had really good results with. It's the Google Wi-Fi. It starts at $129 US. It is made by Google. It's a very small footprint, small circle or sphere. Cylinder. Shapes are hard.
It looks like that right there.
It looks like there's a picture. Great. Thank you, Dan. Very small footprint, not super ugly, doesn't have a ton of antennas, and super, super easy to set up. So again, it starts at $129 US. You give it power, plug it into the wall, uses a USB-C adapter with the wall adapter, and as long as you have internet connected, it's going to make a great local network that you can use a couple iPhones and iPads on for your Switcher productions. If you're not using Switcher, it's a great home router as well. And the really cool thing about this particular unit is that it's modular. And as you grow and as you do bigger productions, you can actually add additional Google Wi-Fi routers that will work together to build a mesh network. This allows you to cover more space and have more even coverage. And the setup is super easy. Google has an app that walks you through the whole process. You scan a QR code on the bottom of the phone, and they start talking to one another, and it's just magic. So you could have one router that's set up by your internet port coming right from your modem, and then that's the only one that has to have an Ethernet cable. You just take another unit, put it in another room, or put it somewhere else in the space and give it power, and they're going to start talking to one another, and you're going to have more coverage. They sell a 3-pack that retails for $299 US. Can cover up to 5,000 square feet, and you can place these within a venue and go through the quick setup with Google's app. It has a speed test built in. It tells you which access point that you're connected to, how strong the signal is. It's really, really robust. This post on the website goes through some of those at a top level, and we're going to be doing more videos and tests showing different configurations with this unit, taking the Google Wi-Fi and connecting it to a hotspot, or taking the Google Wi-Fi and running a wired Ethernet cable from one unit to the next, so that you're not reliant on the mesh network component, but you're still using this as access points for your individual cameras. So if you get them too far apart where the wireless doesn't work, you could have a long enough cable between the 2 points. They're still in the same local network, and you can still pair your devices. So it could be good for a big venue like a music hall, or a football stadium or a church.
Or church would be great. Yeah.
So there's a lot of different uses with this, and all you need is the one to start with. It would be great for an interview format or show like this. And if you need to cover more ground, then you can always pick up another one later and add to it. So be sure to check out that post on our website. There's links to Google's website where you can purchase that. I believe Best Buy carries them as well, and some other major retailers. And it's really cool to see Google get in the hardware space with this particular unit. Networking is hard. It's when it works, it's like magic, but when it doesn't, it can be really frustrating. And this one is very affordable and really easy to set up, and it doesn't look hideous. I think one of the things we lead with in this particular post is if you're shopping for routers, you're looking for things with 5 gigahertz and crazy specs and as many antennas as you can, and a lot of times they end up setting on the floor in a nest of wires behind your TV, and
if anyone's looking to, sorry to interrupt you there, Nick, real quick. If anybody wants to see that article that Nick's talking about, it's now pinned up there.
Awesome.
Thanks, Tim, for recommending putting a link in there. Yeah,
we just talked about it last week.
We were talking about doing that last week, and here I am not doing that. So shout outs to Tim, who's in the comments there too.
Awesome. But yeah, check out the post. It's all there. There are a lot of different routers and networking options on the market. We're not saying this is whatever you're using doesn't work. Drop it. Go buy this thing. But if you are looking to make an investment, this is a really good one to start with, and it's something that you can also expand in the future as you look to do more with Switcher.
I was really amazed when we were out at was it VidCon or NAB this year, and we had one, and we just kind of plugged it in. We're like, I don't know how this works, and Nick was like, we just plugged it in, and then we
magic.
Connected a couple devices, and we're like, let's see how far we can go. And I was amazed at how far we went before we started dropping frames.
The video quality is really crisp too. We've used a lot of different routers, and there's different networking settings that you can test, and it looked really sharp. Maybe it was the devices we were using. Those were our phones. They're like iPhone 6s Plus, iPhone 7. Using newer devices can also have an impact on video quality. But from what we've been able to tell in the tests that we've done, Google Wi-Fi is real. It's and it's good, and it's very affordable. So definitely check it out.
And one good thing, which Nick touched on as well, even if you're watching this and you've already got a great networking setup in your studio or at your business, or if you're not doing live video at this time, the Google router is still a good thing to keep in mind for your household. I know, just as a personal example, in my townhouse, my Wi-Fi reaches anywhere I go, but I can go to my mother's house. It's just a medium-sized house, and there's several areas where there's no Wi-Fi. It just won't reach there. And a few years ago, I worked for an internet service provider, and one of the most common problems is, where do I put my router? Because it's not reaching my entire house no matter where it goes. So having devices like this with that mesh network, they're good for anyone. So if you're having any kind of issue like that, look into the Google router, and that's going to be able, to help you spread your Wi-Fi throughout your entire home instead of everyone bunching into the living room or something like that.
Yeah. One of the things we talk about with switcher setups, if you're doing multiple devices, is to try and get your router or your access point to a central location, as close to your devices as you can, and at the center of your cameras. So that might mean running a longer Ethernet cable from the wall to your production area. No joke, one of the tests that I did with the Google router was at my house, and we set it up in the living room. Using the router that came from our internet service provider. There's nights where I'm laying in bed and I turn off the Wi-Fi on my phone, so because it's not good. It's slow. It doesn't work. Like I would rather use my LTE 4G connection to do things in a room, just a few doors down the hall, because our Wi-Fi didn't work in the house. And with the Google Wi-Fi, we were able to set up a router in the living room and drop one in the bedroom just on the nightstand. And it works great, and I don't have to turn off my Wi-Fi, and I don't have to use my data, and if I'm running Switcher, the cameras talk to one another, even on the mesh network. So it's a really, really cool setup.
You're selling me on this, because I'm sitting here thinking, I do that too. Sometimes I'm sitting in bed and our Wi-Fi is really bad because, I've been really bad and have my Wi-Fi in our basement hidden behind a printer and like the back far away from anything as it can go. So not the best solution, but
because it's a small footprint, because it's not ugly, like you can get your router off the floor, which is going to help a lot in letting those radio waves go further. You can get it on a shelf and you can get it in the places that you need it. We don't make money on this. This is not an infomercial. Sorry if it's turning into that, but we've been really happy with the results we've gotten.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing though, is we're here, we do these things, and that's something I love about the user group too, is other people bring up products that we haven't seen or I haven't seen before, and they're like, it really works or it really doesn't, so and we want to be like that too, where if we find something that really works, like I always talk about our Manfrotto tripods that we have, which are super portable, which is something we preach here with Switcher, is having super portable gear.
Yeah, you can get them in a carry-on bag.
You can get them in exactly. So I think it's more that just that. It's like we've tested a lot of networking gear. We've got like a graveyard in the back there, and I think the Google stuff has been the best we've seen.
Yeah. I think one other thing we should hit on before we wrap this section, I'll let one of you all take it, but talk about director mode or local recording. Like, do I have to have an internet connection to use Google Wi-Fi with Switcher?
Nick's just putting us on the spot. He wants to hear our answers. You want to take it? I've got an answer if you don't.
Yours will probably be a little bit better. I can start it off. And
let's hear Angela's.
So when you're doing a live stream, of course, you've got to have, actual full internet going because it has to get out there. But as long as you've got, a basic network connection and you're just doing something on director mode, you can still sync everything up and do a recording. Later on, you can compose all of your footage together, and then you can upload that wherever it needs to go. So that's the basic answer.
Yeah,
that's it. That's pretty much it.
I figured you'd have a more technical one.
Disclaimer here: if you don't have internet and you're wanting to use something like the Google Wi-Fi with your hotspot, it does support wireless bridge mode, so you can take a unit and wirelessly pair it with your hotspot to use that for your outgoing internet. But if you do that, it will disable the wireless mesh components. You can only use a single Google Wi-Fi when you're doing wireless bridge mode with an existing hotspot. However, and we do need to test this, you should be able to take that primary device and run an Ethernet cable from it to another Google Wi-Fi to expand that local network. Right. So just keep in mind, if you don't have an active internet port or Ethernet cable with internet that you can connect to, you can use a hotspot, but it's going to break that wireless mesh component. You'll have to do just the one device paired and probably run a cable between the other devices. But we'll do some testing. We'll show some different workflows going from a single unit to two, to wiring together over Ethernet, to the example that we just talked about. But very, very modular setup and a really good price point.
Yeah, I think networking, whether it be just for streaming or if it's just for recording, is one of the toughest parts of setting up Switcher. If you're watching this and you're one of those people who are having problems, we want to get more knowledge out there for you all. So if you're getting hung up somewhere or if you're getting stuck, leave a comment and let us know where you're getting stuck so we know what documentation we need to put together or what we can do to help you all fix those problems that you're running into.
Also, be sure to check out the user group. Just one more, want to echo that. Switcher Studio Enthusiasts on Facebook. If you email support, we're here to help, and we're going to track those tickets and stick with you until we get things resolved. But you can also lob those questions out in the user group, and there's a lot of people that have been using Switcher for a while that have had to figure things out or come up with creative solutions that are there to help and willing to share their expertise. And it's just an awesome place to be, and it's fun to watch, and we even learned things from what our users have shared there in the community. So I think that's a wrap for this week. If you want to tune in next Wednesday, we start at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's 11 Pacific. And this is Stream Squad. Check us out at switcherstudio.com.
Take care, everyone.
See you guys.
Bye.